Hi, now we will see a very important chapter in the Python series so called Python functions. Okay, so what is the function? A function is actually a block of code which only runs when it is called. You can pass the data known as a parameter so called into a function and a function can return the data as a result. Okay, so now let's first create a function. So in Python actually a function is defined using the def. Okay, this is the keyword for defining a function. We can define a function by using the function def keyword. Okay, let's say I'll define, let's say, my function function. Okay, and I'll functionize it via the round bracket. Okay, my function, I have defined a function called my function. Here I am giving a condition that what will be the content of a my function. The content will be just print this is Sharad Khare. That's it. Okay, but this function is now not completed because I'll have to call it. If I want to print it, then I just need to call it. Okay, so for calling a function, we will use the function name only followed by this round parentheses. So what I'll do, I will not use print command, I will just use my function. That's it. If I'll run this, you can see the inside the function I have written this is Sharad Khare and it is printed now. So here what I am doing, I am just calling the function. Okay, without print I am just calling. If you want to call a function or call a variable, so you don't need to implement the inverted comma or print command. Okay, for variable you can use print command, but for a function don't use print command. You can run it, you can call it directly by giving or mentioning the name. Okay, there is one more terms comes like argument. Most of the time I told you about the argument. Okay, so what is the argument here? Any information can be passed into a function as an argument. Okay, so what are the basic necessity of argument? The argument are specified after a function name. Okay, like just suppose we have my function here. So here in between these parentheses we can put the argument. Okay, we can add as many argument as we want, but we need to separate them with a comma. Okay, so let me take an example first. Okay, so in this example we will create a function called let's say, let me write it first, def for defining, then I'll use my function. Okay, here let's say I'll use first name like f name. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm creating an argument with a function in between the parentheses called fname, and I'll try to do when a function is called, then we will pass along a first name which is used inside a function, and then we will print a full name overall. Okay, so first we have defined my function and then fname. Now we will print, here we will write fname, then we will concatenate by using function the logical function so called what, add plus sign, and just suppose here we will write let's say it is space, let's say Khare, my name. Okay, we can do this. So here what I am doing, I am creating a fname argument with my function. It is already defined, and I am printing fname plus concatenating it by using space Khare. So if I'll call my function, okay, if I'll call my function and I'll give any of the argument, let's say first name would be, let's say, Rahul. Okay, let me copy this first. Let me take one more. Here we can write okay, here also we can write, let's say anything. Okay, so if I'll print this, you can see what is happening. Fname is an argument. Okay, so we are concatenating it with the Khare, and I am calling my function only. I am giving an argument Rahul. It is fitted on this fname, then Rahul plus concatenation, Harsha plus concatenation, Akash plus concatenation. Okay, so this way you can use the argument. And there is one more thing. Argument are often shorthanded to ARGS. So whenever you will see this ARGS, don't get confused. It is an argument. It is a shorthand of argument. Okay, you will commonly see this in Python documentation part. Okay, so now let me tell you what the actual difference between this parameter and argument. Most of the time people get confused what the difference between parameter and argument, because we are giving both to this in the parentheses. So if it is a parameter or it is an argument, what is the major difference? Look, the term parameter and argument can be used for the same thing. Okay, we need to just pass the information into a function. Okay, and we can use it for both. You can call it as a parameter, you can call it as an argument. But from a function's perspective, a parameter is a variable listed inside the parentheses. Okay, inside the parentheses in the function definition. And in the argument, in the function definition, the argument is the value that is sent to the function when it is called. Okay, so like here, this is the parameter and this is the argument. You should understand this. Okay, again I am telling you, a parameter is a variable listed inside the parentheses. This is the parameter in a function definition, because we are defining it in a function definition. This is the parameter, and an argument is the value that is sent to the function when it is called. So we are calling now and we are sending a value. It is the argument. Okay, so don't get ever confused in it, that parameter and argument. Okay, simple. Now we can give a number of argument also. Number of arguments. By default, a function must called with a correct number of argument. Okay, what we have seen here, meaning that if your function expect 2 argument, then you have to call the function with 2 argument, not more and not less. Otherwise it will show you the error, it will raise an error. Okay, like this. Here I am showing you only 1 argument, 1 parameter is there, so only 1 argument should be passed, not 2. Otherwise it will show you the error. Okay, so don't do this. Let me create an example also. DEF, okay, and let's create a function name, let's say Sharad, okay. in this I'm using sorry, f name and L name, means first name and the last name short form, and I'm giving a condition, just print first concatenation is there, so f name, then concatenate y space, okay, so that there is a space between first name and the last name, and then again concatenate L name. So here we are expecting two arguments, first name and the last name, in the printing output when we will take the argument from the user, okay. So let's say Sharad is called, means my function is called, and here let's say I am giving the first name Rahul, okay, and the second name would be Khare, because we are passing two parameters, so two argument is needed. So if I'll run this, you can see Rahul Khare is printed in the definition in the Sharad function, right? But just suppose if you try to call the function with one or three argument or more argument, you will get an error. Just suppose here, let me delete it. Let me delete it. If I'll run this, what is happening here? Sharad missing one required positional argument. Okay, so it will show you the error. So don't do this. If you'll print, let's say one more argument, let's say anything, like apple, let's say, if again you will run this, you will again get the error, because Sharad takes two positional argument but three were given. You can see the error, okay. So whatever parameter you take in the function, just put the same number of argument here, okay. Let me save this, let me run this. Okay, so hope you understood the basic concept behind this. Let me tell you one more thing. Just suppose in any case you don't know how many argument that will be passed in your function. In any case I am saying, okay. So here you can use the star function. Let me write it. It is actually called arbitrary arguments, so called star args. You will find this definition in the Python documentation also, okay. Spelling is almost different, a is not here, okay. So where I am, let's say if you don't know how many arguments are to be passed in your function, then you just need to add star before the parameter name in the function definition, and by this way the function will receive a tuple of argument and it can access the item accordingly. What I am saying is, just suppose there is, let me create a new function def, and let's say the function is family, okay. Now I don't know how many kids we have, or a person have, or a family have. So here I can give a star and then I can create kids. So what is happening here, when you will pass the argument, because here I am giving only one parameter, but maybe the children will be 3 or 4, means the argument is 3 or 4. So here I can pass a star before the parameter, so that I could give 3 or 4 argument also, okay. Let me take a condition, star kids, okay. Now just print what, let's say the youngest child, let's say is, we will give 2 or 3 name. Okay, is space, then we will use the concatenation, and then we will use, let's say, we will give 3 name, and out of the 3 name the youngest child will be the last one. Let's say we are using 3, so by indexing it is 0 1 2, so here we will use kids, and then we will use 2. Why we are doing this, let me tell you. Just suppose I'm calling a family, okay, and here I am passing now 3 argument. The first child name is, let's say, Rahul. It is the let's say very oldest one. Okay, Rahul is of 10 years, let's say. Now there is a child name, let's say okay, it is also of 8 year. Okay, now I am writing a child name, it is of, let's say, 5 years. So let me let's say Akash. Okay, so now I know Akash is the younger one, so that's the reason I called 2 here, because by indexing it is 0 1 and 2. Okay, I am passing this in where? I am passing this in kids parameter. So now it is the argument, and we are passing this to kids parameter. So kids, in the kids there is second indexing. This indexing argument is used for concatenation with this statement. Understood? Simple. If I'll print this, the youngest child is Akash. If you will write 1 here, then this will be printed. Okay, if you will write 0 here, then Rahul will be printed. Understood? I'm doing same as it is. So hope you understood what is the arbitrary argument. It is much useful. Okay, many people use it. It is very useful, and these are often shorthanded to star arg. I told you, in the Python documentation you can find it very easily. Okay, and there is one more thing. There is a keyword argument also. Okay, what is this keyword argument? Look, you can also send the argument with the key value syntax, like in the dictionary. Okay, what we did in dictionary, we can also do this. So by this way, the order of the argument does not matter, because just suppose the list is much big and you don't know what is the index number, then what you will do? So here the key value will get come to the picture. Let's say, let me define again, let's say family. Okay, now child 3, let's say child child 2 is there, and child 1 is there. We have passed 3 parameters. Now we will print after condition that the youngest child is space. Okay, I'll have to write this in inverted comma first, space okay, we will use concatenation plus, let's say, child child 3. We will use the parameter of child 3 directly. Okay, no need to refer to the argument. The youngest child is child 3, that's it. Okay, so now we will use this by taking the variable, let's say family, and then child, let's say 1 is equal to Rahul. Okay, then child 2 is equal to what? Let's say Akash, and the name of child 3 is, let's say, Salman. Okay, so if you'll run this, the youngest child is Salman. Why? Because we have passed the parameter over here, it taking the parameter from here and referring to the argument. Okay, this keyword argument are often shorthanded by KWARG. Okay, you should understand this. Whenever you will see this KWARG somewhere, okay, then just refer the Python documentation. It is actually the keyword argument, and ARG is just a argument. Okay, whenever you will do a live code, this all function definition will be useful to you. Okay, wait, let me drink water. Okay, even just suppose if you don't know how many keyword argument, means KWARGS, same thing. If you don't know how many keyword argument that will be passed into your function, then you can use here double asterisk. Okay, you will use double asterisk. This, let me copy this first. Okay, then star is star KWARGS. Okay, if you don't know how many keyword argument that will be passed into your function, you just need to add double asterisk before the parameter name in the function definition. Okay, and by this way the function will receive a dictionary of argument that can be access the items accordingly. Okay, so let me write the same example. Let's say define family. Okay, but here now we will use the keyword argument star, let's say kid. Okay, then condition, then I'll print what? Let's say his last name is, and I'll use space, and it's just a example for you for understanding. Okay, then kid, then let's say I'll take a list where I'll put the L name, LNAME. Okay, you must understand what I am writing right now. Let's say FAMILI family. Now I'll use the F name. F name is right now, let's say Sharad. Okay, and the last name, L name, would be Khare. So if I'll run this, his last name is Khare. Understood? Because we are using a star kit. Okay, the keyword argument, because we don't know what argument should be passed, so we are referring to it. Okay, so this is the basic concept behind argument and keyword argument. You can refer to the Python documentation also, it is much good. Okay, it have a lot of parameters, a lot of argument functions are there. You can read it. I'll refer you, and you can get access via the downloading also. Let me tell you something more about this parameter value. I know the chapter is almost very lengthy, but it is needed for you for better understanding. um, let me tell you what is the default parameter value. There is a default parameter also, okay, and we can use this default parameter value. If we call the function without argument, it uses the default value. Just suppose you don't want to give the name of the argument or anything here, then what will happen? Just suppose here I am writing a defining a function of, let's say, new, okay, and here I am writing country, country, country is equal to, let's say, India, okay, or let's say Norway, Norway, okay. So now I'll give a condition, just print what I am from space, then use concatenation and just use country, okay. Just suppose I want to give the argument one by one and the default value, so there will be new, and then let's say Sweden. Let me copy it first. Okay. Let me show you what is happening here. India. Let it be empty. Don't use anything. That's what I'm telling you by the default parameter. Now let's say Canada. If I'll run this, you can see Norway is there. But I have given him no choice. I have emptied the cell. So the default parameter is already Norway. We have already defined it. Okay. So as we have defined it, here after creating an argument, it is taking first Sweden and then India, but third is empty, so it is taking the default parameter. Understood? So this is the basic concept of default parameter. If you don't want to get an error, you can define the default parameter where it will fill the empty value, the empty argument. Okay, and even you can pass a list as an argument. Here we are giving it one by one. Separately, we can pass a list of argument. How it can be done, let me tell you. Okay, passing the list as an argument. Look, you can send any data type of argument to a function, whether it will be a string, number, list, dictionary, or anything, and it will be treated as the same data type inside the function. Like just suppose if you want to send a list of argument, then it will still be a list when it reaches the function. Okay, it will not get changed. Like just suppose here, let me define, let's say what example can we take? Eat. Let's say eat. Define eat is a function and food is the parameter. Okay, then here let me use for loop for x in now where food just print x. Okay, if I'll run this, nothing will happening because we have not given the actual values inside this. Okay, so let me come here again. Let me give another thing. let me take let's say a list of name, let's say veg. Let's take a variable called vegetable or something. Okay, let me take, let's say here apple. I'm just giving an example. Okay, banana, cherry. We have a list now, list of 3 items. So called variable name is veg. So now what I can do, I can pass on with the parameter. I can pass on eat, and then I can pass the veg into it. So as per the function x in food, so food is the by default parameter which will take the argument from veg. Okay, so it will print everything whatever it is in the list one by one, because we have used the for loop for printing one by one. So it will check the values one by one, and then it will refer to the veg by using the parameter food. So if I'll run this, I will get apple in the first line, then banana, and then cherry. Okay, it is so simple. Here if we will send a list as an argument, then it will still be a list when it reaches the function. Understand this thing. Okay, now hope you understood the concept of it. If you don't understand, just see the video, just see what I am telling again and again, and you will get the concept. Okay, let me take one more thing, the return values. Okay, just suppose if you want to let a function return a value, then we will use return statement. Return value means what? Returning what is being done. Okay, let's say diff, a function is there, def function. I am putting x over here and return, let's say 5 into x. Okay, and now we will not call it, we will print it. Why I'm printing this? Because I want it by returning. So if I'll print this, print what? Function, and then in between the argument is 3, let's say. Let me copy this, copy, then paste, and then paste. Here I'll write, let's say 5, here I'll write, let's say 9. If I'll print this, 15, 25 and 45 is there. It is a returning. If you want to use a return, you don't want to print directly like here the same, okay, then you can use a return function. And even in this return, beyond this return, you can use the pass statement also, what we have seen in the previous chapter also. Okay, let's suppose the pass statement. Okay, just suppose for any reason your manager or your project manager hasn't given you the condition, then you can pass the statement. Okay, because the function definition cannot be empty. Okay, but if you have any reason or genuine reason, whether the project manager has not given you the condition or something, or you have some your personal reason, you have a function definition with no content, then you can just put this def. Okay, let's say my function is there, you have created a function named my function, but you want to give the condition later on, then just put the pass over here. Okay, just put the pass statement to avoid getting any error. This will not raise any error. Okay, if you'll run this, you won't get anything. It will not get run. But if you will leave this empty and you try to save it, then you will get an error. Okay, so for saving it, for continuing it without giving the proper condition, just use the pass statement. Okay, so these all are the basic concept behind the Python functions. Okay, hope you understood this. This chapter is almost very lengthy, but this is much needed for your career also. So just keep watching the videos and you will understand the more things easily. Okay, so this is the end to the chapter. Okay, so now let's move to the different chapter now. Okay, so till then, bye bye.